What's going on, guys? Darker here, and today we are back playing some Dead by Daylight. As you've seen, we actually had to restart, because we went from Xbox to PC, obviously, and, back whenever I was struggling with that, I had to restart again, because, I thought the game was broken because it wasn't letting me join my friend in the mill. Yeah, right now I'm trying to freaking fix my, thing. We got 50,000 blood points. That's nice. Yeah, I mean, we played a little bit on this. I think I have like 1 or 2 streams playing on this account. Freaking, what the heck? Controller joystick, go in, please. Please, you're embarrassing me. Okay. What the frick? What? Oh, yeah, we did it. We got one on. Now we have to get the other one on because it decided to rip off. Yeah, we did it. What? Oh, alright, it's on there. I was looking for my other grip. Oh, I know it's on the actual controller. What the frick? Okay, now it's not letting me play the game, not on controller. What the heck? Okay, yay. Let's go to our archives. See what we got. Unhook survivors. Nice. Okay. We don't have a survivor unhook build. We have no one left behind. Yeah, I'll take no one left behind. I want to keep resilience, so I'll take off urban, which, if you don't know, that's like when you're crouching, you walk faster, or faster than normal. Let's see, so instead of this, do I have, we'll make it, when you rescue, I do have that. Obviously it would be better if we had like Middle of Man. Well, kind of. I mean, because because we want to take the hit. If we put Middle of Man on, then they'll theoretically take the hit for us. I mean, probably not, considering they're going to be like rank 17s. And I don't really expect rank 17s to be taking hits for us, even if we have. Was I calling it Medal of Man? Gosh, dude, it's called Borrowed Time. It's a build perk. I do know what I'm talking about, although Medal of Man does allow you to take a hit, but I mean, it would be good if we had Medal of Man. Like, that would actually be really good, because how you get Medal of Man's tokens and stuff up is by taking like protection hits and stuff. So that would be good. We're going to get a flashlight. Hopefully the game's not still broken like it was yesterday, because if it is, I'm going to be sad. Who the frick am I playing? Okay, no, I'm good. I don't want to play Bill. Oh my gosh, dude. What? Why can't we ever find a game? Like, it's dumb. Dumb. Servers. Here. I'm going to play, it said stories. They're quote-unquote relaxing rain and scary stories. Oh, wait, and true scary stories. Relaxing rain and true scary stories. I personally wouldn't call the rain
I created
relaxing.
this video specifically for relaxing or falling asleep. Before we begin, just as a reminder, I only put 3 mid-roll ads in this video.
Fall asleep.
One after story number 1, one after story number 2, and
hey,
one
we finally found a game. Let's go.
The rest of the video will be ad-free,
Woo!
so you can relax or sleep without frequent interruptions. Please subscribe if you enjoy the video.
Why the heck's the freaking flashlight look so weird?
Let's begin.
I don't know, I'm just not used to it having, like, an actual rounded
During
lens.
my early 20s,
like,
I worked as a meter
I don't even
reader
have
in
anything
Iowa City,
equipped
Iowa.
like a
meter
rounded
reader
lens.
is the person who records how much
Shouldn't it
electricity,
be a flat
gas,
lens?
or water you've used each month. If your meters are on the inside and you want an accurate bill, a meter reader must enter your home, whether you're there to let them in or not. Entering a home when the owner isn't present is something that I never got used to. No matter how loudly I knocked, I never shook the uneasy feeling that I wasn't welcome. The inside of a home is the ultimate private space.
Okay.
A home's exterior
The killer's
is just the image of ourselves that we
AFK
project to the
or
rest of the world.
something. Honestly, dude.
But the further you venture
It
inside,
sucks.
the closer you come to truly seeing what kind of person lives there. And if you want the raw, unfiltered truth, head for the basement.
Bruh, how
I hate basements. I've seen
how do you
walls
figure that?
giant,
Like, I didn't use an offering.
until I realized
I actually did have a jigsaw puzzle, so
across a white background.
if I wanted an actual map, I would have used that. Although I probably would have seen if I had like an escape cake first or
I have seen rats,
red envelope or
snakes,
whatever we have.
feces,
Honestly,
weapons, neglected children, homeless squatters, massive hordes, and even a coffin. There are rational explanations for all of these things. Well, maybe not the coffin, but there was one basement where
let's put the most irrational out of that. What? Like, okay, if you guys saw a coffin in someone's house, would you be super concerned? Like, let's say they're not morticians. I don't know what they're called. Gravekeepers.
But no lights turned on.
I don't know.
I wasn't carrying a flashlight.
Owners of graveyards.
The typical route involved 5 or 6
Gravekeepers
hours
are like the people that
so
defend it, I'm pretty sure.
Oftentimes,
Alright, that's pretty. Hey, look. Hi, Piggy. Oh, I can't do that. Frick.
I made my way down into the darkness.
No, what? A chair stole my freaking headset. Stupid.
Arms outstretched and head down. I eventually reached the far side of the basement. I shined the dim light from my
I'm just
handheld
going to
along the wall.
spin around while I plug this in.
Each door led into its own small room. I chose the door on the right.
Okay, that doesn't work apparently.
As I entered
What
the
the
room,
actual heck?
I began hearing noises coming from the other room. Something was moving, and there was whimpering that grew louder the longer I listened. I eventually realized it was a dog.
That's not in well at all.
I tried to open the door, but it was locked.
Whatever. Let's play like that.
Scratching the other side of the door. I felt helpless.
Oh, come on. Leave me alone, bird. You're not fun. Leave me alone. Get away from me. Stop!
So there I was, 1 month later, back within that
Leave
basement.
me alone.
At least this time I knew where the meters were located. I shuffled back to the little room on the right, while keeping my ears open for any sounds coming from the other room. This time I heard nothing.
I want to be on this side.
And started making my way back, but I couldn't shake the memory of that dog. Was it still trapped inside that room?
Shoot.
My curiosity got the best of me. I stood outside the door for a few moments, listening. Still nothing.
Okay.
That's when I made a huge mistake.
No.
I tried to open the door.
I don't know if I should go and try to save him.
The doorknob when I first heard it. Screams. Blood-curdling screams. Unlike anything I had ever heard. Sounds that I did not think a human was capable of producing.
Okay.
Short, piercing,
Makes sense, makes
followed
sense.
abruptly by a low, drawn-out, guttural moan that ultimately
What the
morphed
frick?
into something that I can only describe as crying, but much louder. It was all over the place, like some sort of psychotic
Who's that
freeform jazz.
garbage?
I stumbled backwards, nearly
What was
losing
that
my balance.
garbage?
I shouted something like, "Hello? Who's in there?" There was no response, just screams. "Are you okay? Do you need help?" Still no response, just screams. There was no doubt that I yelled loud enough for him to hear me. He didn't want my help. He wanted me gone. I fumbled my way through the darkened room.
I thought it was a
toward the
pig.
exit. When I reached the top of the stairs, I just stood there listening. I was trying to wrap my mind around what I was hearing. I waited for the screaming to stop,
Okay.
but it never did. When I
Really
finally
just tried to
left,
take a
it was
protection
still
hit,
as
and the
loud
guy
and
was like, no,
demented
no,
as when
no.
it began.
You don't get protection
I felt
hits.
relieved, but that quickly
Probably
vanished
thought I had, like,
when
Metal
I
Man.
realized I had to do it all over again next month.
Oh, no.
I reported what I had heard, but nothing came of it.
Let's go.
As my return
Aero
drew nearer,
Zeppelin.
a sense of dread grew
Zeppelin.
inside of me. What
Heals
kind of
me.
lunatic sits alone in total darkness and
Yes,
silence?
peasant.
My
Oh,
mind
yes,
created
two
endless explanations
peasants.
for what kind of hell laid
What the
beyond my
frick
door.
did he just do?
By the time I returned, I had built him up
I'm
in my
either
mind
seeing
so
things or he,
much
like,
that anything
cranked
other
his
than the
head.
himself
Like,
would have been
since
a
when
letdown.
you
But there
cannot
was
do
no
that.
sign of him the next month, or even the next
Oh,
several
no.
months. I had nearly given up on solving the mystery when a stroke of luck pulled me
Bruh.
back in. One night, I went to a concert with a friend, Laura. After the show, I gave her a ride home. She had moved somewhat recently, so she had to give me directions. I didn't pay much attention to where she was leading me until she pointed to a house a ways up the street. I couldn't believe it. She had moved into the house with the mysterious room in the basement. This sounds weird.
Okay.
Have you noticed anything
I'm a
odd
god.
about the basement at this?
Oh, shoot, he's
I began to
following me
ask,
now.
but before I could finish my sentence, she blurted out, "A crazy guy lives down there." Finally, I had confirmation. She went on to tell me that even though her apartment was in the attic, she often heard him yelling late at night. But that wasn't all. She had actually met him. One day, while walking to her car, she saw him standing on the lawn. He stood
Okay, I
perfectly
need
still,
to
with no expression on his
change
face.
my
He was directly in her path, so she
control
cautiously made her way around him.
sensitivity.
She noticed he was staring at her, so she offered a friendly hi as she passed. He had no reaction, except for one unsettling exception. He stuck out his tongue, then quickly sucked it back into his mouth and resumed acting like a statue. Thoroughly creeped out, she got in
Ew,
her car
look at
and drove
those
away.
rats.
2 or 3 months later, I finally met him myself. I entered the back door like I had so many months before. This time something was
Look at
different.
those rats. Oh, what? They just freaking phased through the
Downstairs.
floor. What?
At the bottom, a ragged-looking dog was staring back at me.
Hey,
It was
bud.
the same dog I had heard during my first visit.
Bruh!
I noticed
How?
something else. Behind the dog, I could see a pair of bare feet. The ceiling blocked my view.
This guy needs to learn how to not, like,
But it didn't matter. I knew it was
just
him.
leave us
I
behind.
should have left right then, but I didn't. I know this probably doesn't make sense, but at this point, my desire to finally get some answers outweighed my fear. I shakily called out,
They're not a freaking, box?
"Meter
Box?
reader,"
Okay,
and
box?
started to make my descent. As I made
There's
my way
not
down,
box.
more of him was revealed. He looked to be middle-aged. His head was shaved, and his eyes were wide.
There's literally no
He was
box.
wearing pants but no shirt. What I remember
There we
most
go.
was how lean his body looked. It had the look of a body that was never at rest. I explained who I was and what I was
Let's
doing.
go, box.
To my surprise, not only did he talk to me, but he actually sounded somewhat normal. The volume and pitch of his voice was odd, but he said the same sorts of things that people typically said to meter readers.
I'll take that.
I even started to doubt whether or not he was the same man I had heard screaming, but his behavior slowly removed all doubt. As I read the meters, he rapidly paced back and forth. He was constantly
Could I stop screwing up my skill
spastically
checks?
cocking his head from
That
side
would
to
be
side.
nice.
The longer he
Boom.
talked,
Okay,
the
there
more
we go.
agitated he became. He began grimacing, and little verbal tics started
What the
popping up in
frick?
his speech. Every so often he would blurt out aloud,
Who's doing that?
in the middle of a sentence. He was trying to suppress these sounds.
Is he even on my
but
level?
He was losing the battle. I started to make my way to the exit. He followed. His verbal outbursts grew louder and more frequent. I was petrified.
Nah, I'm on a whole different
I drew our
level.
conversation to an end.
I don't honestly know where he is.
As I turned to head up the staircase, he could no longer hold it in. Screams. The very same unforgettable screams that I had heard coming from the locked room. I ran up the stairs as fast as my legs would carry me, flung the door open, and rushed back into the daylight.
Okay, idiot.
A month or two later, I had a couple friends, including Laura, over to my place. I was excited to tell her about my encounter, but as I was relaying what happened, I could tell that something else was on her mind. When I finished telling my story, she told me about something she had seen a couple weeks earlier. One day,
Please
she
run.
noticed lights flashing outside her window. She looked outside just in time to see police officers placing the man from the basement
Run,
in the
run,
backseat
run,
of a
run.
squad car.
Frick, frick,
She
that's
later
wall.
found out from another tenant that
You don't
he
see
had
me.
attacked someone
You don't
with
see
a
me.
knife.
You don't see me.
That was the last we ever saw of him. I don't know what became
You
of the
don't
man
see
in the
me.
basement. I like to think that he got
I'm
the
standing
help he
still. You
needed,
can't see the
but
person
maybe
standing.
it's
Oh,
just
frick.
because I'd rather not think about the alternative.
Is this guy smurfing, or does he just have a cool skin? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But that's a cool skin,
I
nonetheless.
live in an apartment building.
Okay,
that has
why
4
was there a
apartments
pink
on
thing
each
over there?
floor.
Isn't that the
The
killer's
apartments are
aura?
split into 2 groups by something
There's
called
scumbags
bubbles.
left
Basically,
me!
2 apartments share
Wait,
this
what?
bubble, and there is a metal door
Oh no,
guarding them
one
before
stayed.
each tenant
Are they
goes to
actually
their
coming to
own
save
rooms.
me?
My husband works as a doctor, so he had to go to work for his night shift. I usually do house chores when he goes to work, so the
Okay.
house is clean when he comes back in the morning. I turn on the Scary Stories in the Rain podcast on my Xbox and do my work. I have 2 cats, Xena, who is 5 years old, and Marcel, who is 3 months old, that are usually very playful during nighttime.
Should I try to
At
yeet?
one point, they both stop from chasing each other and stare at the door without moving or blinking.
See, I'm debating if I should struggle for this, or if I should just kill myself.
And silently hissing under the door. She never
No,
expresses
no,
such
I'm
behavior.
not letting
She is the chillest
2
and
of us
laid-back
die.
cat there is. So how
Just
did her
run.
react
That
to
person
this?
just
Made
needs
me
to
very
run. I should have
curious.
done that earlier,
At the
honestly.
same time, one of the stories that I was listening to was about home invaders and how most
I
tenants
wanna
said
spectate
invaders
to make sure
houses
this
they want to break
person
into
gets out.
and learn the owner's schedules and such
Okay,
before
yeah.
breaking in. This made me
Bro,
feel
what?
very insecure, and I turned the volume lower in order to hear what was
This
going on the
person
other side of my door.
has
Which, by the
learned.
way, it is impossible to get
Wait,
to
were those
unless you unlock
those
the
all
door, which has the sole purpose
thing
of
men?
extra
Because if
protection
so,
for
that's
my
less
neighbor's
impressive.
apartment. My neighbor is a lonely old lady that has
19,
2 pets of her own.
16, 17,
It is,
13.
ironically, the building manager. It must have been around
Okay,
midnight, and she
people
was
that
most
have
likely asleep
learned
by that time.
Bill and
I
have
turned the volume
learned
to my
Laurie
TV down to go
Strode
closer
and
to
have
the door,
learned
having Xena still not
Meg
moved from her
Thomas,
position.
and that's
Pressing my
all
ear
for the
against
first
the door,
guy.
searching
That
for
guy
sounds.
learned
I couldn't
Bill and
hear much,
Decisive from
except
what
the
I know.
distinguished sound of heavy
That
breathing,
person,
like
the
an
Claude,
alcoholic
got
breathing heavily. It gave me goosebumps, and I
her
immediately
perks,
started looking
obviously,
around the
and
house
Fang
for
Man,
something to defend myself with in a worst-case
and
scenario,
then
thinking that if he broke past the metal door all by himself,
me,
then my apartment door might not be a
trying
challenge
to
for
play
him.
a build,
I took my husband's baseball bat and
saving
held
people
onto it
even
with
though
one
I was
hand.
fucking
I took
chased
my cats and hid them
around
in
the
the cupboard
entire
under the
map.
sink. I don't know why. I don't have children yet, but that's what came to my mind first. And person breathing through my door at
Let me get
midnight,
that,
and my
I'm
heart
going to
sunk
re-equip
to my
what,
stomach.
my quote-unquote,
All I could see was an
my
eye,
very
a
scuff
very
freaking,
red and
soloist
blocked-out eye
build.
staring back at me, right into my soul, followed by repeated and faster breathing, as if whoever it was knew I was watching back.
Let's get that,
I didn't move or make a sound,
long
hoping
life
that it would make the
battery
creep go
and
away,
focus
but
lens.
that was not the case. Even when I moved back from the door, I
Oh
see the
no,
doorknob
I do
moving
not want to play
frantically.
him. What the
It was trying to get
frick?
inside, murmuring something that I couldn't make out, as if on a frenzy. I freeze, holding the baseball bat to my shoulder level, basically preparing myself to bash out this guy's head if he managed to get inside. As he was trying desperately to get inside, fighting with both the doorknob and the keyhole because I could hear noises coming from the keyhole, an idea came to mind. I rushed to the living room, which is very close to the entrance door, and blast out the Scary Story podcast.
Noise.
Luckily, the specific story was narrated by a man with a very heavy voice, and from the outside, it almost sounded like there was someone inside the apartment having a conversation, mostly a monologue. I live in a country where English is not a native language, and few people speak it. At last, what I prayed would work actually did. The moment I blasted the
now we
volume
gotta
to
wait
max, the doorknob
for
stopped.
10 million more years to get a
And I went back
freaking
to the door to
game.
check the peephole for that creepy man. He was no longer there, but the metal outside door was wide open.
Dude.
Of course, my neighbor only now wakes up from my podcast, basically screaming in my house, asking me to turn it down. I tell her what happened and how come she hasn't heard anything. She said she had her TV on as well, and she sleeps with it on, so she didn't feel alone, and didn't hear the conundrum going on in the hallway between
By
our
your hand,
apartments.
escape and
We both
collect,
examined
chase
the metal door,
survivors.
asking each other if we left
That's
it open.
fun.
Even called my husband at work to ask him the same thing, and he told me he locked it twice, as usual. I don't know what I would have done if this expert in door breaking actually managed to break into my house, but I do think he was in for me and my
Finally.
cats.
Bless.
I never thought that,
Jeez,
of all the
dude.
possibilities of salvation, these Scary Story podcasts would be what saved my life. Thank you,
Okay, the
being
biggest
scared,
change I
narrator,
want is
for
self-care
indirectly, of
over
course,
slippery meat.
saving my life.
Like, that would be good in my opinion.
I have a couple of stories to tell here, all of them involving my family's cabin in Wyoming. So for starters, I need to put this into context. I was born and raised in South Dakota, and if you ever look at a map of it, you'll see that it's a great beige, almost rectangle, with a singular circle of green.
Love how
right
there's
on the
just
west side
fireworks
of the
in the background.
That's where I grew up.
Bruh.
Now the west side of South Dakota has some pretty amazing sights, and it kind of makes up for there being
How
nothing
have
to
you
do
not
here.
readied up?
But in my opinion, nothing here holds a candle to the cabin.
Go and ready
The
up,
cabin is
please.
exactly what it sounds like.
That would be
A
nice.
log cabin with no running water, a well, and a creek adjacent. The only modernity it has is electricity, and that was added in the 1930s.
Freaking
It's an hour
broken
away from
nose.
my hometown.
Look,
and if you
look,
die
it's
up
already
there,
been
there's
24
no
minutes and we found one
So
game.
it's my favorite place to go. It was great
What the
when I was
frick?
stressed from high school and just needed to get away. And now that I'm 25,
I don't know. Maybe I'm just playing at like the wrong times. Like I shouldn't play it so late.
I'm going to
Because I
start with
feel
the most
like
normal of the stories.
because
Not
whenever I
normal
played
things happen
like
all
a
the
week
time,
ago,
but because there was no
not on
paranormal,
stream, just for
extraterrestrial,
fun.
ooga-booga stuff.
Well, actually, it might have been
I
on
was
stream.
13 at my sister's
People
birthday
were
party.
playing.
My
Like
sister
there were
and
a
I
lot of
always
people
celebrate our
playing,
birthdays up there.
and
My
you
dad
know
had to
we
leave
actually
to take
found
my
a
sister's
game every
friends,
like
who couldn't sleep over, back to their
20,
homes. My mom
20 to
doesn't
30
like to spend the night up
seconds
there,
on
so
average.
she had left before the sun went down. This left 13-year-old me with about 5, 10, or 11-year-old girls. In short, I was miserable. I was poking at the fire, planning on dropping some scary stories on them, so that they would have nightmares, when I heard a distinct rustling noise coming from the dry creek, just just ahead of us. I looked up from the fire and saw a figure
I
approaching
like that
us.
statement.
I told my sister to quietly get back to the cabin.
I was going to drop some horror stories on them to scare them.
When she saw that my
Alright,
eyes
now
were
we're
fixed to
actually
see her
playing
point,
getting. Wait, oh
she
no.
followed
No.
my gaze,
Why
and
do
not
so
long
many
after,
people care
saw
about
a
this map?
bearded man,
Did
wide-eyed,
I miss something?
stumbling towards us. She screamed,
Did it get like a
prompting her
rework
friends
or
to scream,
something?
and they all ran back to the cabin. The screaming stunned me, as I was sure that this man would now proceed to kill me, and after he was done, march to the cabin to
So I'm pretty
finish
sure
off the
there's a
rules.
gen on that
But
side.
that didn't happen. Instead, he stopped and just started mumbling.
Yeah, see, there is.
I could only make out a few words. Deers, rope, crick, and razor blades. Eventually,
Okay.
I gathered up the courage to tell him off. I let him know
Don't
that if
see
he didn't
anyone.
leave, he would be sorry. After I said this, I began backing towards the cabin and eventually retreated inside. We told my dad when he got back what happened, and he wasted no time gathering up people from the surrounding community. The old guy was caught, but not by police. He was caught by his daughter.
See, I think he's downstairs though, so I don't really
This guy
care.
was just a very old man with dementia who wandered out of his cabin and followed the road to ours, thinking it was one of the cutoffs to the creek.
Because I'm highly doubting he'll catch.
Back in the 70s, a group of rednecks got tired of city people swimming in their creek. So on one of the rope swings, they attached razor blades. A bunch of kids cut their hands up. The rednecks were never caught, and all they managed to do was get every rope swing along the creek cut down. Ultimately, I feel more sad than scared when I remember this. However, this is only the first story I have from up there.
Okay.
The next one happened when I was 19. My first long-term
now
relationship
everyone's
had
been
just
killed.
ended, and to say I was taking it hard
Not killed.
would be an understatement.
And
fortunately,
no one's
my
healing
childhood
each other.
friend,
Like,
who I will call Josh, was coming back to South Dakota from basic training. This was also around my birthday, so I had already gotten some days off work.
I think this is
There
not
ended
the
up being
place
a
I
ton
was
of people
birthed.
going up there. So many, in fact, that there was
Who's
no
that?
room for me to sleep inside
Hag?
the cabin.
Is that what that was?
That wasn't an issue for me, though, as at the time, I drove a Subaru hatchback, and I had no qualms about sleeping in my car. I had a whole system. I blew up an air mattress, put down my back seats, slid in it, and I was off. The air mattress took up the entirety of my back seat and trunk, leaving no room for me to put my clothes while I slept. So I grabbed some hangers from the cabin and hung my clothes up on the inside handle of my trunk door. I kept the door open because I liked the night air.
This wasn't even that gen I heard
of the
about.
blankets mixing with the general feeling of chill that came with the mountain night air was and still is very relaxing. I was even happier when it started to rain. However, that night I woke up with a strange feeling.
What the frick? Why could I not hear you? Oh, that's why.
Disappointed at how deflated the air mattress had gotten before I started to hear the soft squishing noises of feet in mud and grass.
Could you blind?
To see who was coming to scare me. I was naturally irritated and called out, saying something to the effect of, "I hear you," but no one made their presence known. I bit the bullet and threw the covers off me, hopping out of my
blind
car
him
into
again.
the pouring rain. I looked around my car and didn't see him.
Blind him!
I was confused and a little scared, but decided it was a good idea to just go back to sleep. As I wrapped myself back up, I began drifting off to the sound of raindrops tapping the roof of my car. And then, as I was about to go to sleep, there was a loud thump that ripped me awake and sent me flying back up. It sounded as though...
What? What is that reach? What is that reach? I'm pretty sure the guy has reach hacks. Literally, dude. No, I'm so close. Dude, I swear. Maybe if you would have, like, you know, blinded whatever you needed to.
And a single handprint on the back window. I thought about letting the group know, but decided against it, as they probably wouldn't believe me.
I'd like to see one of them get hit before I attempt to escape.
Because I didn't want to ruin the weekend. The only one I told was Josh. also said it was a good idea not to tell anyone else. He's a very spiritual person, and
Slippery meat, you
as
suck!
he does now, that it was a ghost.
No.
However, I'm thinking it was
Gives
a
me
person.
3 extra attempts, eh?
I will never know.
3 times now I'm about to be dead.
First, let me set up some background to make the flow of the story smoother. This happened almost 19 years ago. I was nearly 13 years old, and I was being raised by my grandparents.
It's my fault.
We lived in a little tourist town in Florida. They had had problems with their 2 daughters as adults, my mother being the older of the 2, and they wanted to do everything that they could to make sure that I didn't turn out the same way. A do-over, if you will. So needless to say, they were very strict. My aunt was having a good period. She had her stuff together. We were all very close. My aunt understood what it was like to be raised under a glass dome, metaphorically speaking. They raised her too, after all. So being as she was my only aunt, she made sure that the time we spent together was always super cool. I would stay over Saturday nights. We would go out and hang out at the pier, and she would let me hang out with my middle school boyfriend, who would find ways to get to wherever I was.
Freaking broad.
My grandparents had no idea of any of these
Medkit.
activities, of course.
Whatever.
I was just spending some quality time with my aunt.
Don't whine
giving
over
them a
the
break.
past.
It was nice that I had a younger female figure, since my mom wasn't around. One night, when we were out having fun, my aunt meets this guy, and they really hit it off. He was very nice, and introduced himself to me. He went by JR, and at first, was a kind of charming talker. They exchanged numbers after hanging out a while, and then we went home and went to bed. They ended up going out a bit more, and my aunt had really liked JR. He took her to his house and introduced her to his father and showed her around his land. He lived out in the woods in the middle of nowhere. I have lived in this town for 30 years, and I still to this day couldn't tell you
What do you want me to do?
I was only there once.
Rescue this person, I suppose.
I remember her shoulder rocking back with the impact of the shot, and it surprising her. He had these weird dancing clothes in his closet. It was all seemingly harmless. I mean, everyone has their quirks. About 10 days, maybe 2 weeks later, we were again at the pier out by the payphones talking about what to do that night, and what to get for dinner.
Fuck.
JR and my aunt were in their late 20s, early 30s, and as much as she loved me, I imagine there were times that I got in the way. Well, anyway, we were at the pier, and he is talking about how he has these painkillers. He offered me one. I declined, of course, and told him I had a high tolerance to pain anyway, and didn't need that stuff. He then, with a huge smile, asks me if he can see for himself, assuring me that he won't really hurt me. He's just trying to have fun. This guy twists my arm behind my back until I hear a pop. I start to cry.
That's my fault, I'll admit it. Honestly, I was kind of just hoping he would miss the swing. I mean, like, see, he missed that at least. That's funny.
I thought I was. I'm sorry.
Oh, found hatch.
To ruin the good time we're having. I go in the private pier office, which my granddad managed, crying. My aunt comes in and lets me know that she thinks it's messed up too, and that she talked to him about it.
I wish there was a voice chat, or like an actual text chat that you can't just do after the game, so that I could tell them, oh, I know where hatch is. It's, I don't know what floor I was on. First or second? I'm pretty sure, yeah, I was in basement. It might have to go basement, honestly. Basement, but they could obviously see where I was hooked previously. Unless they're literally just not paying attention at all. Which is possible. It's just possible. But, I don't know. So maps, are apparently good for blood points.
Later sneaking in only if she will pick up my boyfriend Charlie. She calls him when she gets home, before we made our arrangement with Charlie and says that she can come out, but she will have me with her.
But I'm going to use the
groans and is
first aid
like,
kit.
Fine. Alright, I guess. She can come too. Maybe she will get tired and sleep in the car. About an hour after she called JR the first time, I ask her about Charlie, and she agrees.
Here we go.
She sits down with me and hugs me and
Offerings.
touches my face lovingly.
Let's see.
Apologizing
Oh, I
for
don't have a
what had
jigsaw
happened with
puzzle.
my arm.
I did.
My aunt was
Oh,
an
maybe
amazing
that's on
woman,
Claudette, or
and I
maybe I
love her
already
very
used it.
much.
I don't know.
She then calls him again
Should
and tells
I
him not
increase
to
our
worry.
luck?
She is picking up Charlie, so I will have my own entertainment, and they can have
Maybe
their time.
tremendously
He
increases
goes into
chance
a
of vision
rage
to
and
Macmillan.
starts sputtering and
I don't
cussing
really like
about how
that.
it's too
I
complicated
don't care
now,
about
and he just
Crotaspam.
wanted an intimate meeting with her, not a quote-unquote family reunion. He went on about how he didn't want to have to babysit a 13-year-old kid and her 14-year-old boyfriend. He hangs up after calling her crazy. She bewilderingly hangs up the phone and tells me what happened. We go about our night
I'll
with
take
pizza
that
rolls and
because
PlayStation,
I'm going to
and
be
things are fun. He calls her
around
a few more
the killer,
times
like
and
in his
drives by the house
terrorist,
for a
like
couple of weeks.
trying
aunt
to
was having
save
none of it.
other people off hooks,
After a while,
etc.
he left our lives just as swiftly as he had come.
Oh wow,
The
I only
whole
got
affair lasted a
one
few
safe
months,
hook
and
rescue
even
out of
that,
those, like,
3 weeks
what,
ago.
I saved
And
someone,
all in all,
saved
it
like
wasn't
3
the
times last
craziest
game?
experience she had
3,
with a
something
man.
like that.
JR was soon
2,
forgotten,
3,
and
4,
we went about
not
our
sure.
business.
Something like
Fast
that.
forward 2 years later, I am almost out of middle school.
Sure,
My aunt had
sacrificial
moved to a
ward.
city about 40 miles away.
No,
I
that...
still lived with my
See, I don't really
grandparents.
get the
They
point
were
in
still
that,
strict,
like,
but as they had gotten older, so had I. I knew
like,
a few ways around the rules. One day my
I
friend
don't
Frank and I
know
missed the bus
what
home
the
from
point of
school
that would
and
be.
called our good
If
high
it's
school
not
friend
letting
Darla
you
to pick
choose
us
the
up
map.
and take us home after
Like,
riding a bit. She had this
it
big,
would be
beautiful
awesome
truck,
if it was
and I
like,
would ride around in the bed of
this
it,
cancels
loving the freedom
everything,
and the wind. We were smoking cigarettes and laughing,
and you go to
listening to
this
the radio.
map, or
The time I
a
would have
map
slept
of
on the bus
your
before my
choice or
stop was
something,
just
but that would
enough
be
time
kind of
to hit up the
OP
taco
in a
drive-thru.
sense.
We cruised down the road a
But,
bit before heading back to
I
Frank
mean,
and I's separate houses.
even if you cancel all
We had a lot
the
of fun that day. She dropped me off
external
first.
variables,
My grandparents came outside. They were heavily confused
like
at the sight
the
of
other
me.
players, obviously,
And even more so,
choosing,
they saw that
oh,
I
I
had
want to
gotten
go
confident.
to
After
Crotaspang
letting
or
her be the one
Macmillan
to explain
Estate
that she was
or
older, cooler,
whatever the
and
heck
more
this sends you to.
responsible. My parents
Larry's,
thanked
yeah,
her for being kind
I knew
enough to
that.
take me
I
home.
don't know why.
They said
Or the
how
Heart
lucky I was that
Locket,
she had
which
just happened to be
is...
there to help me get home. The things we do to our parents, eh?
God, I can't remember the
That was
map
the last
name.
time we ever saw my friend.
It's
She
a
didn't show up for work for 5
farm.
days.
I want to call it
I can't speak
Farmstead.
for everyone, but
Although I
assumed
don't
she had
think
just run
that's
away.
it. That's a Rocket
Darla's
League map.
parents were
I'm
going through
pretty
a nasty
sure. Oh
divorce.
God,
The
no.
dad had a hot new
Screwed
girlfriend,
myself.
and the mother was very bitter
Okay,
about it.
let's get into
Rightfully
this
so, I
game.
guess. It was embarrassing for
Let's
all of the kids.
not lose.
Her truck wasn't
Hopefully.
left behind. I figured she got tired of her parents acting like infants and took off.
Oh, that's fun.
I missed her, but she was in a whole other
Likely a
league of
Mori.
freedom and coolness. 16
And a Mori
is a whole
eel.
different life than 14.
Oh no, very
Especially when you
scary.
are in different schools.
Very scary, the Amori
I
eel.
wished her well, maybe even a little
Oh, that's
envious
fun,
that she
fun,
got out of
fun.
this town, and I was still here,
Stay there.
and I hadn't
Yeah,
heard anything for 2
I was
weeks
just trying to get you
about
off my
her.
screen.
When
I
at
did
about
not
9
want you to
o'clock at night, my
full
grandparents
on
got a phone call to turn on the news.
switch to that.
Darla's body was found in the woods. I was devastated. I was so
What
joyful
are we
that I
talking
had
about?
that
Who's
last
Darla?
experience with her, but so
Don't know.
saddened and horrified. She was so young, barely older than myself. She was about to be 17 in just a short time.
17? I thought you were 13. How's that?
The good and bad news is that they caught the guy that had done it. He confessed after some very incriminating evidence, and during his questioning, also confessed to killing his girlfriend, who had been missing for about 8 years.
Who had been?
And also his father. When they showed his mugshot on the screen and said his name, I swear, I almost passed out. There, clear as day on the screen, staring back at me, was a picture of JR. I had no idea they even knew each other. I can't even imagine what would have happened if we had gone under that bridge that night. Investigation Discovery Channel did a piece on it a couple of years back. I was shocked
Bad
to
in
see it on
preschool,
TV.
Springwood. Fun,
The
fun, fun,
memories came
fun.
rushing back,
I mean,
and
it's
I
better than
decided to write them all
Midwich.
down. I literally have a
Midwich
newfound appreciation of
Elementary.
life now that I'm old enough to understand just how close I could have come to being killed.
What the frick?
My aunt
What the frick?
awesome new memories with me. I have a beautiful life with my husband and 3 boys that most likely wouldn't have happened if things had gone differently that night.
She doesn't see me. She don't see me. It's impossible to see me. I'm a freaking ghost.
I am a private investigator living in the South. When people learn that about myself,
What?
it's usually met
Where
with
is
a
that?
certain amount of interest, given that TV
Is there an
has
upstairs?
cast private investigators in a very intriguing light. In reality, our lives are usually mundane.
I don't know where that is.
More unremarkable.
Oh, it's probably down
models than
here.
Ferraris and beaches.
Ah, it is.
I haven't seen too many noteworthy or exciting things in my line of work. I have been rushed by a few dogs, harassed by mentally unstable people, and busted plenty of times by an intended subject. But all in all,
No, why? Oh,
I do
no.
have one story that, for fear of sounding sensational, changed my life. It was January, a month that falls into what myself and my partners know is the dregs of the slow season. So when I got the call to work a fairly easy assignment about an hour and a half away from my home, I was pleased to have it. The assignment was just scraps.
Running.
A
Peace
giant
out.
angry car lot owner who had spent too much patience
Peace out.
attempting to locate a woman who he believed had skipped town in a less than paid off SUV. She's gotta be in that area. That's where the GPS last hit before it died.
Hello, friend.
That's what I was told.
Friend.
It wasn't
Let me
scandalous,
rub you.
high-profile work.
That
but I was
sounded
happy
wrong.
to have it. The snow began to lightly fall as I loaded up my equipment bag into my car.
There we
Stocked
go.
with spare camera batteries, snacks,
Boom.
and the like.
Healed.
I kissed my husband goodbye, zipped up my jacket, and plugged in a random address that fell within the last known latitude-longitude coordinates the client had provided from the last ping on the car's GPS. After nearly 2 hours of sipping coffee and half-heartedly dialing my radio back and forth, the channels crackled weakly as I drove further and further away from modern
Wow, that could have
civilization
sucked.
and into the sprawling pastures of the rural backcountry. Finally, I found myself.
Oh my god, dude. That scared me. I was like, where the frick did. Ow!
As I approached a long stretch of road. The roadway looked gloomy in the haze of the afternoon winter. Its length dipped and craned
There we
painfully
go.
what seemed like miles through farmland. I knew as I proceeded down it, slowly, that it would be a difficult area to set up on. I observed the sides of the road, devoid of any shoulder, and yielding abruptly from pavement to mucky, snow-soaked ditches. I quickly dismissed the idea of pulling off into the grass when I checked my phone and saw that I had no signal. This would be a bad area to get stuck in.
Nice
No
one.
deception, given that I had seen no houses for miles, and the snow only fell heavier by the hour. Turning around carefully, I drove back towards where I had come from, until a single, faint bar appeared in the corner of my cell phone screen. Using the weak signal, I consulted my map.
You know this person's got lit reaction time. Cracked throwing axe skills.
The SUV I was looking for was sure to be.
Oh no! Shoot!
Satisfied, but not convinced, I said goodbye to the idea of mindlessly browsing Facebook all evening and headed back to the area. The sleet sloshed beneath my tires as I slowed down outside of a small ranch-style home, a little ways off the road at the end of a gravel drive. The house was somber, but looked charming, with fresh snow settled on its worn roof. As I approached the house, the boards of the porch stood, moaning.
Watch this work.
I knocked carefully and smiled immediately, so as to appear non-threatening to whomever answered the door.
Oh god, no.
The latch on the other side of the door fell, and shortly after, the door opened.
No.
To my surprise, instead of being hit with the fantastic warm air of a home, I was
Hi.
enveloped by a musty, cool draft that seemed to belch up from deep inside the house. Inside the doorway stood a man I
Hi.
gauged to be in his 80s. His eyes were brown and
Spins!
sad,
Hit him
his
with the
face appeared weathered.
spins!
His wrinkles set deep into his face, as if he had been carved out of the red clay soil that rested just inches below the snow outside. Even though he did not stand taller than myself, he still seemed to look down on me, his broad frame occupying most of the doorway. I smiled bigger, as if to prompt his own sober countenance to do so, but it did not. Awkwardly, I spoke. I hate to bother you, but I've come all this way to look for a car that I believe is in the area, and I was wondering if you would be okay with me sitting at the end of your driveway
That's
for a little
depressing.
while to keep a lookout. I had almost made an art out of playing up my innocent woman status for my own advantage, and I would be lying if I said that
Oh,
wasn't
look
what
at
I
this.
was doing at
This
this moment.
tapping god.
He did not immediately answer. He looked at me, studying me,
I'm less
his face
concerned of
never
her
warming and
catching
only
me.
serving to wear me down with silence. For a moment, I felt my damsel facade had finally fallen on unwilling ears, and I prepared myself for swift denial.
If anything, I'll just like
stood there,
freaking spin around and she won't be able to hit me.
a plaid shirt tucked into tan
Honestly,
slacks
dude.
that ended in slick
So
black
funny.
dress shoes. Hardly what I would expect a gentleman of his age to be wearing in this weather, especially since his home didn't seem to be much warmer than the air outside of it. He clenched a blue wooden pipe between his teeth, chewing the
Dang,
tin
you
thought.
realize you're...
He looked terribly
Oh,
faint,
actually, it's probably the
almost
same,
jaundiced,
considering otherwise
as
we
if
would
my
screw up the
palm might
jokes.
pass right through him if I offered him a hand to shake. Just at that moment, he seemed satisfied with how long he had studied me,
Okay.
and maybe having decided I wasn't a threat or trouble, he looked past me to my car, back down to me, and nodded his head in approval. I thanked him and was eager to retreat back to my warm car. Crunching snow and gravel beneath my tires, I caught one last look of his door shutting before I found an unimposing spot near the end of the driveway and began my surveillance. As a woman in this line of work, I have come to be aware of my environment. It's not my nature.
Oh my god, dude, she is sloppy butcher.
Often looking into my rear and side view mirrors to check my surroundings, I took note of the man's house. It was dark.
Oh my god, dude, that did not do what I wanted it to. Like, I was trying to fast vault that.
I suspected he may be entirely frugal, keeping as few lights on as possible.
Where are you trying to take me?
So cold. I smirked, remembering how my own father would keep a watchful eye
That
on
hook?
the thermostat.
Well, I'm going to get off
so
before,
as to not
bud.
prevent us kids who refuse to put sweaters on from tinkering with the dial. Having seen only 2 sedans in the hours since I had arrived, I finally phoned it in and began my trek home.
Hi.
The next week passed by, and I once again loaded up
Hi.
my car for another assignment about an hour north of the man's home. I couldn't shake how sad he looked, and wondered whether or not he had anyone to care about him. His absent demeanor and sad, far away.
You know I have infinite of that, right?
My mind every now and then. I scratched out a thank you note, bought a box of cookies, and decided that I would leave a little earlier so I could stop by and deliver them to him. I felt compelled to show my appreciation.
That was depressing.
For him letting
That was depressing.
A complete stranger take refuge on his property to do some scummy repo spotting work. By this time, the snow had melted, and the roads were far more formidable, albeit cold.
Where the frick are you going?
I made the
Did she run to a locker?
Stretch of road and slowly crunched down the driveway. To my surprise, I noted a new car parked near the home, as well as 2 utility trucks. A woman stood outside speaking with a man who donned tool belt and boots, making it easy to surmise his occupation. The woman motioned toward the house, speaking with her hands, and a worker appeared to consider whatever it was she was saying. She looked on at me, trying to place who I was as I stepped out. Calling out a greeting, I
Hey.
approached with a letter
You
and cookies tucked under my arm.
No, stop!
I explained
Stop
who I
doing
was
that!
and how I just wanted to say thank you to the man that lived there for his generosity, explaining that I would not have been able to do my job if not for him. I felt a twinge of embarrassment when I realized that I had never gotten the man's name. This woman studied me with the same eyes as the old man had, only hers seemed livelier and more skeptical. She told me in an almost accusatory tone that nobody should have been there, and that she had only just come up from the north to begin renovating the home to sell. She looked on to the contractors with slight annoyance, to which they both denied being responsible without actually being asked any questions. She looked back to me and explained that her father built the home in 1942 and lived there up
What
until
the
his death 4 years ago,
frick?
leaving the house unoccupied
Let's
since.
go save this
She
guy.
felt completely violated that someone had been squatting in her childhood home.
Let's go to
I
this.
apologized out of sympathy while stifling.
I don't know how have you not done this
that I
one
may have
yet?
been speaking
What?
to a crazy
Where?
man
Oh,
who was eyeing me. She seemed reluctant
there
to
we
go on,
go.
so I offered up some feigned interest in her home's history
Go for it.
in an effort to help her regain some of the autonomy she seemed to lose in light of finding out about the break-in. She walked me around the perimeter, telling me about an old sand pit she played in as a child and how she planned on making it into a garden. She
Shoot,
continued
dude.
through the tour, explaining how she planned to repurpose and restore certain things. The memories seemed to warm her from the inside out, as if I began to disappear while she reminisced. I opened up the box of cookies and offered them to her as I got one out and bit it. I laughed as I offered her one. Here, old crazy doesn't deserve these.
Bruh.
She forced a half-genuine laugh and took a cookie. She then reached into her back jeans pocket and pulled out an iPhone. Switching to the gallery, she opened an album of photos she had taken off old Polaroid pictures of the home in its former
I'm dead,
glory.
but whatever.
She swiped
Run.
them as she explained
Just run.
each and pointed out their original locations. A photo of her as a child, sitting in her
You don't see me.
with an old family dog named
Shoot,
Baba.
dang it, she did.
A large knockout rose bush
That sucks. Whatever.
years ago
GG's.
her mother's pride
That
and
was
joy,
worth it.
and she had spent hours
Had some good runs there.
She swiped through more photos. An old pickup truck, her mother holding her infant brother on the stoop that had
Should I
previously
try to
belonged
yeet?
under my boots, a chicken coop surrounded by heritage chickens, and finally, a photo of her father, a broad, weathered man, clutching a blue pipe in his teeth.
Nah, there's no
and
need.
grinning
Okay.
warmly
Did you
to
just
the
kill me?
wearing a plaid shirt,
Yeah,
tucked
you
in
did.
tan pants,
Thank you for
and
killing me.
in slick
Well,
black
not killing me, but
dress shoes.
you got me dying a lot faster than I was. Like, honestly, I probably could have, like, yeeted myself off and done better.
For the longest time in my teenage years, I earned a few bucks a week by doing babysitting work. It always made me giggle at how there are so many urban legends based around babysitting. The serial killer that stalks the unwitting teen. The call coming from inside the house.
Dude, you're literally going to farm me again. Could you just not?
Babysitting as the vocation.
You guys don't know how I didn't get killed there. Don't know how I wasn't farmed.
Sure, you get a bratty kid, and it makes an evening a little more challenging.
I don't know why. I literally just did that, Jen. And I ran up to it like I didn't think it was active.
Until the parents get
Oh
home.
god, dude.
Saying that, I did
Oh, thank you, Steve. I mean, like, I get you're dead. I'm sorry. But,
that ended up in me
I mean,
ever babysitting for them.
you did an honorable thing.
It only happened once, but sometimes
Heal me!
So I arrive at this big old house, a few blocks away from my parents' house.
Oh my god, she tap heals.
The parents of the kid seem charming, and the kid is one of the more adorable little tykes
No!
of minding.
We're being looked at now.
Brief list of rules: what the kid is and isn't allowed to eat, how much I'll be paid,
I don't know how that huntress didn't see me. I'm pretty sure she is blind.
All goes well for a little while. The kid wouldn't eat their carrots, but when I pretended they were delicious by taking little bites myself, they soon broke into a smile and pretty much demolished the little bowl of hummus we were sharing. With the kid fed, I gave her a bath, tucked her into bed, and that's that. It was honestly one of the easier jobs I'd had. Right up until the sun started to go down. So once the kid is asleep, I head downstairs to order a pizza on the parents' dollar. Like I said, they were perfectly nice and polite when we first met.
Okay, for anyone that is still tapping.
Pizza arrives.
Okay, I messed up a skill check there, but that was because I was looking away.
Thank you for being so fast. He's literally counting out the change.
Like, if I'm actually looking,
his head snaps to the
I can do it.
Like he's looking into the bushes at the side
but
of the
any
house.
of those people that are still tapping, if they're
the door to see what he's looking at.
Like, just stop. Learn to do skill checks. It's much quicker
Along the lines of,
if you learn how to.
Guess I'm just tired. My mind's playing tricks on me. Laughs awkwardly and then walks back to his car while thanking me again for the tip. I didn't think anything of it. I mean, it was probably a cat or something. Right. So I go back inside to eat, have a full-on carb overload, and end up just lying there on the couch, watching TLC. There were these big bay windows in the family's TV room, and I had drawn the curtains earlier to block out the glare on the TV.
I don't have a flashlight.
All the way, and there was a slight crack in the curtains that allowed me to see out into the dark front yard. At one point, my eyes were drawn to this little crack, and I could swear I saw a dark shape where streetlights were previously. I sit up, focusing my eyes on the shape, and wondering if it was my mind playing tricks on me this time.
What were you doing?
When it moved, I wasn't going nuts. I had been looking at someone who was
why is it doing this? Why was it doing that?
That's about
like,
when I started to
it just stopped running constantly. It was like I was rubber banding. And I ran straight to a hook. Whatever. She didn't see the Fang Min. Are you kidding me? Okay, she did. Never mind then. I thought she didn't see the Fang Min. I was like, oh, are you blind? Okay.
I was sure that I had seen someone, but the chances of them just vacating the area at the sight of flashing lights, then returning later, would be a huge possibility, and a terrifying one at that. So I decided to shoot my shot, only when it would be absolutely necessary. Appearing to waste police time would not be doing me any favors.
Okay.
I suppose I'm just trying to explain why I didn't call the cops right away. I've had friends of mine say they'd have just called 911
should we take key?
right then and there.
No, I'm taking another flashlight.
Of anything right then.
So I need to get good with these.
Not Michael Myers pointing a knife at me. Life isn't black and white most of the time. Anyway, I've secured all the windows and doors, shoved the cordless phone into my hoodie's front pouch, and I've even positioned a Little League bat near the couch so that I was sort of armed. So by that point, I started to feel relatively safe again.
Because someone walks into the house with a freaking gun, you're just gonna be like, no way! Grabs bat. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, hit them? I mean, they may or may not shoot you. Then, you could try to hit the gun. That might be one of your better options. Hit the gun out of their hand.
Every so often, in between watching whatever social train wreck.
I guess it depends where you are in the living room.
Nothing happens for a while.
And where they are.
It was all just in my head or something. Right about the time I get up to wander into the kitchen to grab a drink of water. As I'm in there, I get that intense feeling that I'm being watched. I turn to see that same dark shape in the kitchen window, only this time I rush into action. I hammer 911 into the phone, telling the dispatcher I need the cops to their address ASAP. there's a home invasion in progress. I honestly don't know if it was the adrenaline, or I was just sick of thinking that whoever it was thought they could get away with stuff like this.
Okay,
But I
let's
just
see.
sorta charged.
Objective
After screaming out that the
category.
cops were on their way, I ran into the TV room, grabbed the Little League
Should we
bats,
do
and
survival
just ran for the back door,
category?
which led out of the kitchen and into the backyard. What happened next is frankly
Nah, I'll
astounding.
do.
As I ran at the guy, baseball bat in
do survival
hand, ready to
category.
bash his brains in right there in the yard,
I think I meant to say objective category earlier.
it was a face I had seen
Altruism.
before, not long ago at all. It was the kid's
I honestly
dad.
forget what altruism
So,
is,
long story short,
or
the
like
dad
how
of
you
the
get
kid
it.
I had been babysitting had, for whatever reason,
Shoot,
decided he
dude.
needed to see what kind of babysitter I was. So
Altruism.
apparently, he drove his wife to whatever party they were heading to, turned back, saying that he had forgotten something, and then decided to watch me over the course of about an hour or two to see if I was worth the cash they were spending. Obviously, since no crime was actually committed, there was no one to charge. The dad offered me a sincere apology, even offered me double the cash just to finish the night up, but I refused. No amount of money could have persuaded me to stay. Needless to say,
What?
I was very
How
selective
that?
with who I babysat.
I completed all of the stupid ritual. How? What? Well, I'm not. Okay.
Hi everyone.
I guess I probably should check that.
As concise as possible while still delving into necessary detail. This happened in a span of 2 days, 5 days ago. I am not sure if these events are connected. However, I am convinced they are. I am an 18-year-old man, 6'1", 190 pounds.
I am a 6-year-old,
and I work at a grocery store.
61-year-old
Getting a job
cut
grocery stores
man.
are the few places hiring nowadays. Anyways, I work at 5 a.m. and wake up at around 4
Okay, buds.
I don't mind it because I get off early. It's still
let's
dark
win
when I arrive
this.
at the store, and I always have to call the store and ask for the produce workers to let me in. As I was walking up to the door, I see an average-looking man, probably late 30s. He doesn't work at my store, and clearly he was tweaking out, moving around in crazy motions. As I was waiting for the door to be opened, he was facing me about 8 feet away, not looking at me, but past me. He was chanting some weird satanic stuff, something like, "Satan will come, Satan knows." He kept repeating those lines. I was just standing at the door.
That's
like,
a
what
weird
is this
chant.
guy on? Someone just let me inside already. Nothing else strange happens at work that day, and I get off at 9 a.m. as I only worked a 4-hour shift that day. As I'm driving home, I get a call, and the ID said it was from a nearby city. I answer, and I literally just hear a guy breathing. I'm just sitting there thinking this is some corny prank. Since the audio was playing through the speakers in my car, his breathing was amplified, so I'm not sure if it was intentional. I read one time that if someone keeps you on the phone for long enough, they can get your IP address. Although, I am not certain of this.
That's true.
He then says my full name in the tone of a question, but also in a weird, strangely excited kind of way that made me feel extremely uneasy.
Yay! Auto Haven Records. Shop map. Fun.
And then
Fun.
he just pauses and hangs up.
Okay.
I realized a few hours later that he sounded exactly alike to the satanic dude from this morning, except sober. I get paranoid.
I'm going in the basement because you get points.
And sent chills down
I
my
also want.
spine. I tried to call back, and the number was, you guessed it, disconnected. The next day, I arrive at work with no troubles.
Well, you know, Adam.
I see my father's car in the driveway, as he is usually home at this time. The front
Bruh,
door to my
how do you not see that? How do you not see it?
This because my dad was home.
Whatever.
Right.
Cleansing the totem.
I walk in, take off my
Doing
shoes,
the bones.
my dad, because I brought him.
Bones.
So before I explain this next part, you need to understand
Bruh.
that many noises people hear this sound very well because my room is right next to my parents, and my dad is an extremely light sleeper, and anytime I drop something or make a relatively loud sound, I can hear him rolling around in his bed because I disturbed him. Okay, continuing on.
Okay.
I call out for my dad as I'm walking up the stairs, and there is no response.
We'll finish this gen, go over to the one over there, or wherever the heck it went now.
Because my dad wakes up very early.
Okay,
no
or not.
He was taking a nap at 9:30 a.m. I'm already at the top of the stairs at this point, so I burst into my room.
Oh, it's a freaking hag. Are you kidding me?
Through our paper-thin walls, and I genuinely heard someone whispering, and then the springs releasing, as if someone was sitting on the edge and stood up. If he was whispering, that means there could potentially be two people in my house, and I could be in real danger. I instinctually grabbed my dresser and dragged it in front of my door. That thing weighs probably at least 150 pounds, and it took me a little while to drag it in front of my door. My heart was pounding. I was worried the intruder would catch on to what I was doing.
Oh, yep, yeah, you did see that. That's fun. I was kind of looking like at you like you were dumb, because, you know, most players of your specific ranking are not very good.
Just as I tried to call him, I saw him walking
let's
up the street
run to these guys.
And shouted that it wasn't safe for him to come into the house. At first he laughed it off and proceeded up the driveway, as nothing like this has ever happened, and we live in a somewhat safe area. I repeated myself, but this time I screamed at him. Now he knew I was serious. He could see the fear in my eyes. He stepped back a few feet and asked what was going on, and I felt
I think there's a gen like over this way we need to
Once I confirmed my father was safe, I called 911, and the intruder next to me must have heard it, because once I got off the phone, it ran down the stairs. I was scared.
Yeah, but you can really duke them out with just scratch marks. Like half the time I feel like players don't even like pay attention to what's actually in front of them. They just pay attention to the red scratch marks left behind.
The cops got there about 12 minutes later and came up with nothing.
Did they already do the gym?
No evidence of forcible entry.
No.
Literally nothing. Besides the wide open back door and some mud tracked into the house, which really pissed me off. Could the man whispering have been the man that was talking to Satan the other day? How did that man know my name on the phone? Can someone track you if they know your phone number and full name? Were these people trying to abduct me? This only happened 5 days ago, and I've been scared ever since. Worrying
that's where it is. It's fucking blind.
I also have sleep paralysis.
Freaking blind.
And if you've had it before, yeah, it sucks. That's my story, and I hope nothing like this happens to any of you. Thank you for listening.
I think, what's it called? Frick. I don't know what it's called. I know it's what the, Sayeda guy has, the frickin', the blood clot, or whatever it's called. No, it's not called blood clot, well, I don't know what it's called. It's probably something like tough skin, thick skin, something like that.
One late summer night, I awoke in my bed. This is fairly startling to me already, since I never wake up in the middle of the night. I listen intently to the sounds around me. I hear nothing but crickets outside my open window in my room. I get that you're a grown woman. Stop thinking the boogeyman is after you.
That's cool.
And try to settle back into sleep.
Oh, yay, it's a no-ed, baby.
Aimless whistling out towards the main road that leads to the
condo.
No-ed. I try to listen past my
did they get the no-ed? Yeah. Wow.
Our condo is one of the
last
fast. At the end of the
I was looking for that too.
Into the development
Well,
from
was
town,
going to look for
our
it.
backyard is the first you would walk across. It was the first time that placement made me feel exposed. That, and my window was open. Sure, I still had a screen, but not much comfort to me at the time. Again, the I am a grown-up thought came to me and said, it's probably some drunk guy wandering down the road. He is nowhere near your house.
That's not
no
cool.
Big deal. Go to sleep. So I tried to just block out the noise and get to bed. But the whistling was so aimless with no tune, just like it was trying to get attention, not keep itself occupied, or...
Oh my god, no, this is stupid.
I couldn't help but focus on it and hear it getting closer. And then
How do you babies just
I heard footsteps.
turn around?
Aimless footsteps to go with the now horribly loud whistle.
Honestly, stupid.
Are my grandparents not?
I mean, it's smart. Like, don't get me wrong. Like,
I am about to
I mean,
get up and go
good for
upstairs,
you
but
that
by
you're
this point, I am gripped with fear.
smart enough to do that. But like,
And my open window.
what the heck? You're also like being a no-ed and camping a door. Like, that's kind of dumb. It's pretty low.
And with a whistle so loud,
Yeah, okay.
I am sure
That's fine.
it's them leaning down to look into
I don't
my
even...
room.
Oh, there's the door.
bolt, covers off and jumping for the staircase. I thought I would feel safer up there, but it was little comfort. My mind
That's
went
not
directly
it.
to the sliding glass door
Is
to
it?
the porch.
Yeah, it is.
The one
Or
with the
that...
staircase to the backyard. It's locked, right? I couldn't bear
I don't
to
suppose
even
I
try
can
to
just,
listen
like,
and see if I heard
run
anything
past her,
before.
do you?
I bolted yet again, now to my grandparents' room. I was breathless and trying to wake my grandmother. It had to be an emergency to wake either of them, and you would think the situation would count.
No! What?
Well,
What?
my grandma was not having it.
Swear to God, dude, they'll just have Wagasaki add-ons,
Since I tended to have one of those wild
like,
imaginations
built into them.
Well, maybe that was right. It was just me that heard it. Nevertheless, I slept on the upstairs couch after making sure the porch door was locked and taking a fireplace poker to sleep.
I mean, to be fair, if I had, you know, this thing called self-care, I would have been fine.
About a few days later, my grandmother and I decided to go shopping. We took another road out.
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
do not normally
yeah,
use,
go and grab me.
So it's my first
You're
time
good.
seeing this street.
You're super
Since
good.
The night of the whistling. I am in the passenger seat.
Oh, yay, fun.
Pass by,
Fun.
and I see one with the police tape around it. Worn tape that you could tell was
Run.
already slack.
Why? Why do you do this? Why does game do this? Oh, let's go! I didn't know he had freaking, borrowed time.
Oh, I didn't tell you.
Let's go.
She says nonchalantly.
Let's go.
A woman lives there by herself.
Okay.
A man broke into her basement.
That's a whole one escape for like, what, 3, 4 games? 4? 4, 3? 4? Yeah, 4 at least.
While I was hoping my grandmother would make the connection.
They've all been pretty similar type maps, kind of.
When I came to your room a couple nights ago,
kind of.
Complaining about a man going past my window. No. Never mind, Grandma. Never mind.
Now, honestly, I feel like if I got self-care...
About 2 years ago, I moved into a new apartment. The walls were very thin, and because of the fire safety laws in my city, my bedroom had one window, which led into
He's being up blood points to let me get self-cares.
The window will be important later. It was 3 bedrooms, one for
I
me,
believe I have
one
to get
for master
that.
tenant, and one spare, which at the time was
Oh,
rented
no.
out by a pretty friendly
Stop.
guy.
Get off my screen.
Well, friendly guy
Okay.
had issues with his work visa and had to move back to Canada last minute, leaving us about 2 weeks to find another roommate. Our quickest and easiest option was Craigslist.
There we go.
Due to my work schedule, I had no part in the selection process,
Here's like
but was content
40,000.
moved in a little later.
I mean, I could just use Claudette. Like,
he was a very tall, large guy, but pretty quiet.
I could just use Claudette
right
right now.
out of my way to hang with, but was okay to to be
I
around
probably
and
should
or
just
to
do
live.
that, shouldn't I?
About 2 weeks into his
I
move-in, the master tenant left for
well,
Hawaii,
yeah.
leaving him and I
Yeah, I
alone
will.
in the home for the
I'll just
month-long
use
duration of his stay.
Claudette.
For the first few days, things are normal.
Wait, shoot! No, no, no,
All of a sudden,
no,
about 4 a.m. to tell the
no!
truth, I am woken up at
Oh,
about
my
8 a.m. to a
bird!
frantic knocking at my door. Roommate, we'll call him Kyle, is standing there when I open up. Looking frazzled, he looks me dead in the eye and says, "So, do you want to tell me what went on last night?" To which I was shocked and confused, because I had come home from work at about 9 p.m. and immediately showered and went to bed. I explained this to him, and he tells me that he heard me screaming and arguing with someone in my room.
Oh, no,
That he saw me in the side alley out the window, arguing with our landlord, whom I had never even seen at that point. That he heard people coming in and out of our house.
Streetwise.
I tell him no way.
Sure,
None of
let's
that
get
ever
streetwise, because why not?
After staring at me for a little longer, he leaves and doesn't bring it up again. The next
I probably
morning,
should have just
I wake up
gone
to the same thing. This time, he says he
resilience.
saw me arguing with my boyfriend.
There we go.
I was single
Fun.
at the time. Had seen me talking with our other roommate, who was in Hawaii, and asking me for the badge number of the officer.
No! No!
Had seen me talking to a
5,000, 7,000, 4,000. Okay,
This
wait,
time,
we can do that.
and more or less tell him to
Because
cut this crap out,
we have things in the archives.
and don't know what he's talking about. He gets a weird look on his face and says, "I think I had a seizure in my sleep. The next time it happens, call an ambulance," and leaves for a bit, only to start knocking again about an hour later. And when I open up,
Hide within 10 meters of the killer without being caught for a total of 45 seconds.
Once more before I tell
I don't want that!
and I leave for work.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Work as normal,
I think that's just like,
that
that flower challenge, I think it's just like that one, where it, like, just summons something. The worst will be, trying to figure out what it is for the first time.
Back and forth between his bedroom, the living room, and out the front
No doubt.
Walking in and out of each room, turning
Boom.
the lights on and off, mumbling angrily, and slamming the doors. I can see his figure pacing back and forth through the frosted window of my room that leads to the living room. Since my room is dark, he cannot see inside. Suddenly he screams, "I cannot live like this! Why are you doing this to me?" I think he's on the phone and don't respond. A few moments later he screams my name repeatedly, and I realize he's directing it towards me. I knew I had to get out of there, so I very quietly creep out of bed.
Okay,
and start
yeah,
getting dressed and packing a bag of clothes.
that's okay loadout, honestly.
I'm almost done when he screams,
It's not bad, I guess.
"I hear you," and charges over to my room, slapping the wall next to my door,
What's this do?
but not touching the door itself. I look towards my window and see his shadow lean all the way forward, pressing his ear against the glass. I was terrified and sat completely still, unmoving. He eventually screams my name again.
Celebration Gen is repaired. You earn bonus blood points. Use this offering, increase the amount of blood points earned for these interactions. Now, during the event, all hooks and generators are replaced with Lunar Celebration hooks and Lunar Celebration generators. The red envelope is, what did that say? Filled with crisp new bills that bring luck and happiness.
He screams, "Do you want to fight about this? Come out right now and we will fight, I swear." I am a small 5-foot girl, and this guy is easily 3 times my size, so I am definitely not
webcam
looking
on.
to fight. Thanks.
So that you guys can see
turns off all the
things.
lights, and I hear the door to his room open and close, followed by silence. I wait for a moment to be sure I can't hear any movement, and then decide to take my chance.
That seems
I took a breath and pulled my door open quickly. I step out and grab my shoes before I look up a second later and see him standing shirtless with just a pair of boxers and socks on
like
in
a
the dark
healing
of the hallway.
build.
His arms hung slightly outward in an awkward position. He says in a low, stopped to put them on.
There we go.
When I look back, he is standing in the porch light of our front door,
Botany.
watching me run, but not moving. Luckily, I had a friend who lived 2 blocks away, and I had their spare key, so I let myself
Streetwise, self-care.
And that's where I stayed for the next week or so, while we worked things out with the master tenant, and Kyle agreed to move out within the week. He says he didn't remember anything that happened, or wasn't sure if it was real.
I don't know.
But if I said that's what went down,
Streetwise,
it must be real.
okay.
The day Kyle left, he sends me a photo.
A toolbox packed to the brim with fireworks, prepared to celebrate all of your life successes. Nice.
That he has actually left. When we get there,
I might
we
use that
discover that not only had he left
eventually.
a ton of food and furniture, but he had ripped all of the fire alarms out of the ceilings. He had unscrewed and removed the deadbolt to the front door, and left them lined
Reduces consumption by 25%.
We then realized
I think
that my
botany
front
would
door
be
could
better.
only be locked by using a key
Could be
from
wrong.
outside, and it had been locked when we arrived.
I don't know. Am I wrong? Is
Kyle
botany
still had
better
the key.
than streetwise?
Called a locksmith
Like
and
the
beat him.
consumption.
Even
Like,
after
say
changing
you
the
just
locks,
take a
I
normal
was still
med kit.
terrified to stay
Will
alone afterwards.
will the
Never
consumption
went to sleep at night without barricading the doors with chairs
like
and other
will
furniture.
it be
To this
better
day,
if you're
I
healing
still
faster
fear
or
for
if
his
it's
safety.
decreased by
He was
25%?
obviously psychologically unstable, but also wonder
I mean,
what could have
that's
happened
basically,
if I hadn't been as
well, I
lucky
mean,
as I
it
was.
is just giving you plus 25% on your med kit, basically. I don't know why I keep saying basically. That's
Being
just
a
like
big fan of horror stories
my
and falling
freaking
asleep to them,
go-to.
or just having
Because, like,
them in the background
it's not
while
basically,
I
it's
day-to-day
obviously,
pushed me and inspired me to share
obviously.
my own story.
Yeah, but
At the time this happened,
I also
I
want
must have been
to
8 or 9.
ask
I don't really remember. All I know
if
is
you
that it was
guys
before I moved
would
to
like
the
me
UK,
to
where I
continue
live now.
streaming
So the story took place in my home country,
daily,
which I
or
will
focus
not
more
name
so
for
on the
personal
videos
reasons,
and then
as
maybe
it took
stream
place
every
long ago.
week
I don't
or
remember the
every
details, so I
half
apologize
week or
if
something
there's a
like
few
that.
gaps here and there. One night, around midnight, me and my older sister
Basically,
were going for a walk
are
through
you
the
guys
street,
okay with the schedule it's
just to
at right
talk
now, or
and
do you
enjoy
want me
ourselves.
to
We come from a religious
increase the
family,
video
so we weren't
production, or
drinking or
try to
smoking
increase the
or
video
any of the
production?
sort. We just wanted to chill a bit before
What
going
the
to sleep,
freak,
as it
dude?
was summer, and well, we wanted to make the most of it. Like most streets, our street goes onto a bigger one, which in our case was a small motorway. There, some benches were built as it was also a bus stop, and people tend to chill there. But since there was a woman sitting on the bench, we didn't want to disturb her, so we sat down on the opposite side of the street, on the pathway. We were minding our business, talking and laughing pretty
Well, that
loudly,
man
when the
mind
woman
games
stood up
him.
and started walking towards us. Now, like I said, we were talking pretty loudly, so I just assumed she wanted to tell us to keep it down or something, which is why I didn't think much of it. However, the closer she got, the more I got to see how she looked. Again, I might not remember it correctly, but the way I see it, she had long black hair covering most of her face, and she honestly looked homeless. My first thought was the creepy ghost girl from The Ring because of her
I
hair.
don't know. I mean, like,
As she approached us, I moved away from
I think
her,
botany helped
and now
there.
that I see it,
More.
I guess it might have been rude of me to do that, but I was a young girl, and this image I created in my mind scared me. My sisters looked up at the lady, and she smiled a really creepy smile. I think she sat down
Okay,
next to
well,
me
we got this
and just
gen
looked at
done,
me for a second
hopefully.
before asking
I mean,
how old
we
I
should,
was.
as long as we
Being
stick.
the naive child I was, I told her, receiving a nasty look from my
Should I go
oldest
try
sister,
to help that
which must
person?
have been
Like,
around
I don't
15 years
genuinely
old,
know where they
and my
went.
other sister around 14.
I just know
The
they're
lady
in, like,
smiled at
50
me and said,
meters of me.
"Well,
I want to say someone's over at this gen.
I have some kids the
I
exact
believe
same
it.
age as you."
Except no one's there. That's fun.
Even as a kid, I immediately knew that was creepy. It was midnight, and we were complete strangers. Who just asks a random kid?
See, I don't even know who, Oh, wow, wow.
Obviously said
Wow,
as
okay, I
did
just
sisters.
looked at that hex.
At that point, we stood up and
Or
we were ready to
their
walk
name,
back
not that
home.
hex.
She stood up herself, just looking at us.
Hex white
She
privilege,
pointed
hex
to her house,
can't.
and that was the
The
moment I really
cancel
wanted to cry.
culture.
She pointed to this
Wow.
house, and I was sure it was abandoned, which I later found out wasn't. But thinking it was, it of course freaked me out.
know.
She invited
I
us
don't
to go
personally
now, and
like
when we refused, she
those
told us to come
topics.
tomorrow when it's light outside.
You guys tell me what
Still
you think about them.
as it's still really
But
weird
I personally
to invite strangers over to play with your
think
kids.
it's a dumb
Me not
saying.
knowing that house was actually occupied by someone, I was extra scared, thinking she could be a serial killer, wanting to lure us in so she can later do whatever she
Oh my
wishes
god,
with
no.
us.
No.
I don't know how 9-year-old me wasn't crying at this point, but I tugged onto my sister's clothes, begging her to just leave. Keep in mind, the whole time we were talking to this woman, she kept a big, creepy
Please do
smile
not tell me. Oh, okay, I thought she let
as
her
if it was carved
out
in.
to me. I was gonna
When
say, are
we
you
finally
kidding me?
had enough, my sister straight up told her no, and we booked it out of there back home. It was dark, and our
Let's go.
street had no
Run.
lights,
Run,
so
run,
you
run.
can imagine how scared I was, even with my sisters there. They were faster than me, and I was scared they would leave me behind. It was one of the scariest moments of my life. When I brought this up to my sister a few days ago, she informed me the house wasn't abandoned, which is how I found out. But put yourself in my position. Even if it doesn't sound that scary, it terrified me enough to be popping up in my mind from time to time, even 6 years later. As a child, that must have been the most terrifying experience
I just realized the
of my life.
tap is getting chased. Let's go see if we can find her again.
The backwoods of North Carolina are full of old, sleeping
I would
houses
like try
that
to
ought be
distract
torn
her.
down. They dream only awful
Okay, we'll
things.
just do this gen then.
I grew up in a very,
After
very
all,
small
I'll do
farm
some
town
fast
with a
vaults
population
over
below
that stuff.
150
Shoot,
or so.
sorry. Sorry,
I
Fane.
won't name drop the town for obvious reasons,
no.
and even if I did, you wouldn't find anything to write home about. There's a caution light and several abandoned buildings, a barely functional gas station that will grossly overcharge you, and that's about it. You go more than half a mile in any direction, and you will officially be outside of the city limits, though there are dozens of people who live in these heavily wooded farmlands that call the town home, simply because it's the closest thing
I'm sorry.
Though,
It's my
that would
fault.
be akin to saying that Mars was within shouting distance of
Shoot.
Earth. I have had a few experiences in these woods that I cannot fully explain. I can describe them, and I will, but I cannot offer any scientific explanation for them. I know that tales of wendigos and skinwalkers and other natural forest demon spooks are popular, but wendigos are a creature that belong to the tribal legends of tribes centered around the Great Lakes region of the northern United States, Wisconsin,
Could you
and Michigan,
not?
and into the eastern coast of Canada. Skinwalkers are exclusively tied to the Navajo religion and Navajo grounds, which are in the deserts of the far west of the United States. Keep that in the back of your mind as you listen to this. I first began to notice the presence when I was around 12 years old. Playing in the woods was really the only pastime I had available
need to
outside of video games. But video games got old rather quickly.
Younger to
I
shower.
was the only child, and
Nice.
there weren't any other children
Nice.
in the area,
Younger.
so exploring the woods was a good outlet for my imagination. Prior
We
to
are
my first
younger
real
to
experience,
shower.
the spookiest thing in the woods around here would have been a venomous snake. Even then, the snakes we have aren't likely to kill you unless you just seriously neglect the wound or have an allergic reaction. Aside from them, the largest predators we have are coyotes, which are mostly afraid of humans, and the rare cougar that happens to be
Save that person.
which is
Or
so infrequent
try to.
that it isn't worth worrying over.
I personally think I
So
should
the
let
first
him
day in question was a
get it.
total
Never
summer
mind.
day.
Nope.
I was out
It's
hiking,
the scumbag. I don't
collecting
care.
rocks,
Mind.
keeping
I'll just go
forts on
protect the
sticks.
guy.
You know, the standard things a 12-year-old boy does. It was about sundown, and I wasn't quite ready to head home yet when I noticed something was off. summer in North Carolina. The woods are
Buddy.
anything but quiet. You have a
Thank
cacophony
you.
of sounds. Cicadas, crickets, frogs, birds. There's a whole chorus of wildlife that all wants to be heard. Heck, you may even get the occasional coyote pack howling.
Never mind. I'm in. I don't know if these ranks actually. No, there's scratch marks in the game half the time.
In these times is not an accident.
I don't know if I'll be able to make that, but I have self-care, obviously.
All of the noises had stopped.
Or
I could
shoot.
hear the wind between the mixture of old growth and pines, and I could hear the distant babbling of a creek. But that was it. This was strange to me, but at the time, I didn't realize what an ill omen it was in and of itself. I actually remember thinking that the water sounded peaceful, and walking deeper into the woods to listen to it better.
What the heck? Where are you?
I began to get this overwhelming sense of
the heck?
It wasn't the standard.
Hey, bud.
I feel like I'm being watched.
Oh, no. Oh my god, are they going to flashlight?
Like I was being followed, or any of those standard paranoias. No. This was like, have you ever stayed at a party? You know, you get there at 9.
What the heck are you doing?
And suddenly you realize that you don't
Get
know
back here!
who is still there.
Go!
You also
Get
didn't
back
see this
here!
new guy come in, but he's glaring at you. And come to think about it, so was that girl in the kitchen.
Ow.
You've overstayed your welcome.
You suck.
It's probably time to go.
Not really.
That's exactly what it felt like.
I can't believe
Even
you
if
hit me
I
out of
lacked
that
the
there.
metaphor to express it at the time. The air itself felt heavy.
Maybe if this game actually, like, I don't know, like,
that I needed to leave.
allowed me to sprint!
It had been fine in the morning hours, but now, this was the domain of someone.
Maybe if it allowed me to sprint,
I
dude.
remember feeling as if the trees were warning me.
What the heck are you doing?
So I did. Initially I walked, but by the time the sun had begun its descent, and the sky had begun to darken in the twilight, I was jogging. I never broke into a full-on sprint. I don't know why, but I felt showing too much fear was a bad idea. Eventually, I made it back to the road and looked back to the woods. I didn't see anything, but that's when the feeling of being watched set in. I felt that there were eyes just beyond the tree line and out of sight, and they were staring right
I feel
at me.
infected playing with that character.
I went home
Or,
pushed
not
the
that character,
experience
that
on my
name.
mind as best as I
Honestly,
could.
dude.
From then on, I made it a point
Gosh.
to always be out of the woods by dark.
I want to make sure everyone's
There
out.
were several times after that I wound up in the woods at dusk, but did not have this feeling return. There weren't any special circumstances that seemed to summon it. Just sometimes things were fine. Others, I all but sprinted for civilization. I didn't have any more overt experiences, however, until years later. I don't know what the catalyst was, but the activity ramped up dramatically in the years span. The first experience like this was in October of 2018, and since then, the woods have gone through
Freaking, like,
unsettling experience.
hits us. Oh, crap. I totally forgot about the glyphs. I could have done that too. I probably could have just gone and find it before the door was activated if I remembered it. Ah, dude. Okay, let's get that self-care learnable. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now I'm happier. Let's get resilience too. Ooh, Dusty News. Let's go. Dead Dog. Honestly, dude, love that map.
This went on well into the night, with the stories growing more nonsensical, and the laughter growing louder as the bottle grew lighter. By 1:30 a.m. or so, it had grown deathly cold. I decided that was a night for me, and that I was going
Failed skill checks detonate fireworks. Let's go with that. Wait, no. No, I'll do that yet. I want to do something with that.
We'll call him Tim.
I want to make a video with that. I want to do like
Go climb a large rock about 70 or so yards
like
away
just
from
3
Tim.
games of just like
Frank begrudgingly goes to supervise him while he finishes off his cigarette.
I don't know.
So
I
they're
just
both a
think it
good
would be
70,
fun.
maybe 80 yards away from the tent. I am now in my sleeping bag and trying to fall asleep.
Okay,
And I
let's
can
see.
hear them laughing and talking, and it's obviously far away. It's right at this time that something heavy slams into the side of the tent. Like, heavy enough that I'm surprised the tent didn't collapse. I didn't move. I was drunk, but not so drunk as to not realize that whatever was out there didn't stop by to borrow a cup of sugar. That sense of dread filled me at once, and even though I had my shotgun with me, I couldn't bring myself to reach for it. I felt
Item
staying still was
efficiency
safer
are
approach.
increased by.
I heard something.
Oh no, never mind. I didn't even notice. My gosh, dude. Yeah, botany knowledge is definitely better than streetwise whenever it comes to healing.
Or anything
Build.
like that. Just deeply breathing. This only went on for a total of fewer than 10
A
seconds.
smooth black cord, blah blah blah, blah blah. Let us into a game. What the fuck was that voice crack? What are we on now? Like 2 escapes in a row? I don't know. I don't really think we'll get far with that, but we might as well, right?
Probably best that they didn't. They stayed up a while longer before turning in.
Yeah, and
I
about
woke up first and stepped out
after this game or 2, I'm going to have to go.
There was something more ominous. The entire clearing that we were camping in now had, scattered throughout the grass and early morning frost, circles of bone. Not large bones, no, but crushed up and arranged bones of small creatures, like a rabbit or a small bird maybe. I would assume we were in a predator's hunting ground, save for the fact that the bones were neatly arranged
Okay,
in circles.
remember to do the freaking glyphs this time.
With equal spacing.
Okay, everyone's here, just not everyone's ready.
This last experience is the most recent.
The killer's ready to kill us, though.
There was a meteor shower not too long ago, and I returned to
What customizations do I have?
to observe it, as there is very little light pollution.
Safety spectacles,
It was stellar.
golden
And
rings.
but I wasn't out there long.
What?
When my dog, who I brought with me,
Oh, the earrings? Really? That's what makes this an uncommon.
down and was now staring very intently at the tree line. He wasn't barking or growling.
Oh yeah, stick out like a sore thumb.
It was strange.
Jeez, dude.
But I assumed he had caught wind
Let's go.
of
Do we have anything for this?
And he was on the hunt.
No.
After a moment,
Nah.
a nearby coyote howled.
The golden rings are probably the most noticeable thing out of that. Gosh, dude.
He was just tense because of the coyote.
I'm really going to just stick out so easily. That killer better, like, see me. Like, if he doesn't see me, if he manages to walk past, well, not past necessarily, but if he looks in my direction and doesn't see me, well then, you best hope that he is chasing someone else, or else that guy is getting flamed by absolutely nothing, but flame nonetheless. It's getting flamed by the comment section. Not really, don't do that.
Stopped pretending to be one. Or at least, I don't know. It stopped howling. It then erupted into the most horrible sound I have ever heard. The coyote was laughing. It wasn't a hyena sort of laugh, though. It was this garbled, mangled mess of sound that sounded like an animal trying and doing a piss-poor job to impersonate the cadence of human laughter. And it was on this recording track where after every
let's go.
It seemed to loop. It was rapidly growing louder over the sound of breaking branches. I frantically tried to get my keys and get my door open. The laugh stopped, only for this
Okay.
guttural and deep scream to resound.
Oh, that's fun.
I say deep
Not
to
really.
emphasize that it wasn't a bobcat or fox. They have high-pitched sounds. This was very low.
That's fun, so it's a
Had the same pitch
huntress.
as, say, a roar, but it was in that same horribly botched nonsense that the laugh was in.
What the frick it? Oh, that's a glyph.
The laughter resumed immediately, but as I got in my truck
Boom.
and turned the
Okay.
lights on,
Do only one spawn?
dead silence.
Per.
In a moment of stupid
Or will I be able to find one?
curiosity, I
Another
turned
one.
my truck towards the tree line before
Oh, no.
I left to shine my headlights and see if I saw anything. Between the trees, I saw what seemed to be a man. He was of average height and wearing a white t-shirt, and I assume blue jeans, though I could not see a face or arms or anything of that nature, just his silhouette and his clothes. In hindsight, I think he was only a silhouette. Maybe. I blinked, and he was gone.
Okay.
That's my story. I don't know what is in the backwoods of North Carolina, and I don't want to know. And it's probably best if you don't try to find out. It doesn't seem too welcoming to strangers.
The heck? Did she just leave? Why does it just auto deactivate?
Started with me and a couple of my buddies hanging out at my
No,
place. For
stop.
the sake of this story, I will name my two friends Michael and Lucas. Basically, everyone
Stop.
was wasted from drinking too much cheap bourbon. Michael had
Or
brought
no.
with him. It was around 2 a.m.
Oh, now you
Lucas,
just
still a
like
bit drunk,
won't
suggested
detach
we
from
should
it.
go and explore
Apparently.
the abandoned insane asylum. For context, we all live together in
What?
the same small town.
I hate this.
There is not much going on there, but when you drive
Okay.
15 miles on empty back roads, you should come across the old mental hospital, which has been vegetating ever since it was abandoned in the 1960s due to unknown reasons. Back to the story. So since there was really nothing to do, we all agreed to make the drive. We grabbed our backpacks, some water, 3 flashlights, and a big hunting knife for protection. Lucas also brought a couple of graffiti cans for
Noise.
obvious reasons. Yeah, he was into that stuff at the time.
Noise.
The drive was relatively unspectacular.
Please
with
tell me
the
you're chasing
exception
us.
that Michael almost ran over a rattlesnake laying in the middle of the road.
You
When
weren't
we
chasing
arrived,
us.
the sight of this huge asylum just standing there for
Okay,
all
let's
these
heal up.
years
Let's heal up.
made me feel a little uneasy.
Oh my gosh, dude.
But my doubts quickly evaporated as Michael and Lucas were already going around the place looking for an entrance.
The bill just led them to us.
Not completely boarded up
Hey,
with
bud.
beams, and then crawled
No.
through the small opening.
Bill, why'd you do that?
I got on my feet and let my eyes get adjusted to the darkness that completely surrounded us. We powered up our flashlights and began wandering through the corridors with rooms on either sides. The walls were pretty much all covered in graffiti. So Lucas
Dipshit.
suggested that we should look out for a basement entrance
Go.
with the intention of finding a free spot.
Why did you run that way?
After a 30-minute
Did you think
search,
you had borrowed
we found
time?
the basement entrance.
Are you actually
The
blind?
stairs were rusty and creaked with every step. The whole basement smelled terrible. Lucas quickly disappeared down a long hallway with rooms.
Okay, did you learn from your mistakes?
Michael and I keeping pace behind him. As we wandered off further into the dark hallway, which our cheap flashlights only poorly lit, the terrible smell grew worse.
Screw this one.
I can only describe it as a mixture of
Oh,
vomit
shoot.
and rotten eggs. What struck me as odd was that all the walls were pretty much clean.
No.
Unlike the site of the first
Can't touch this.
it almost
You can't
seems
touch
like
this.
nobody has ever
Pink.
made it all the way
Pink.
to the basement level. Everything
Pink's
was
just
relatively
too
quiet
cool.
until the
No.
when Lucas started making much noise by shaking
Pink's
his
too
graffiti
cool.
cans in order to prepare them
Pink's too
for an
cool.
act of vandalism. So
Pink's
he
too
started
cool.
spray painting one of the nearby
Pink's too
walls.
cool for you.
Michael and I just watched him do his thing. When he finally finished his piece, the
Oh,
smoke
shoot.
in the air almost drowned out that horrible stink that was
Whatever, I ran him
As we made
super
our way down
far.
the hallway, I could tell that the smell came from a small
They better not leave without me, though. Like,
at this point, we were all pretty much freaking out of what we would find in that room.
no!
I had the hunting.
You can't use that still?
As I approached the room and shined my flashlight inside, the light beam hit, and I kid you not, a circle of burned out candles, and in the center of the candles was a dark object hanging from the ceiling.
Oh
At this
my.
point, I had to vomit because of the smell coming from this room. Michael was the bravest one of
That's
us
fun.
as he stumbled into this room, grabbing a
That's
metal
my
bar
fault. I'm
and
sorry,
jumped
Bill.
next to him, poking the object with it. As right
Okay.
then, we realized the amount of dark brownish stains on the floor under it. We all quickly sobered up due to the situation as we heard several voices and fast approaching footsteps.
Okay, and they had borrowed
I never
time.
ran that fast in my entire life. It's really amazing what adrenaline can affect. We finally reached the set of stairs and sprinted through the floor. As we finally reached the window we had entered from, Michael also vomited onto the floor. Lucas then realized that he had left his backpack full of his stuff in the basement, as he didn't have enough time to pick it up. We sprinted out front and got into my car and hightailed it out of there. As much as I know, we only have suggestions of what we saw in that basement. Maybe there was some kind of satanic ritual taking place, or we just stumbled across a murder scene. We haven't told anybody this story. In fact, Lucas told me that he had not had a good night of sleep since that day, knowing he left his wallet in his backpack there, keeping all his personal information, including his home address.
Cool. Let's go. Little bit of heals at the end.
This event took place
Okay,
in
that
November 2018.
it's not bad. We're on a 3-game win streak.
While I remained home alone. I won't lie, it was all I could.
Let's see if we can do.
Watching
I'd say
until sunrise.
2 more games if it loads quickly.
On the last night of my time being home alone,
If it doesn't load quickly, we'll only play like 1.
While listening to music. While drawing,
I'm hoping it loads quickly.
one of my kitchen windows would just not leave my mind. Therefore, I decided to leave my bedroom and check the kitchen.
Cool.
As soon as I set foot out of the room, my eyes met with those of an old lady looking directly at me through one of my hallway windows.
Let's go empathy. We probably should have gone resilience, but I mean, whatever.
Face. I wasn't afraid that anything bad was going to happen. I was just extremely disturbed by the fact that a random old woman was looking at me.
Oh no, no! I want to buy that.
Opened the window and asked her.
I want to buy that.
She did not respond or move.
This is not the place I was birthed.
I knew I had to do something. I couldn't let her stay outside of my house the entire night. As soon as I opened the door, she slowly moved towards the front gate and left. To this day, I have no idea who she was, why she was on my property, and why she was standing outside my house, staring at me through my window. I was about 7 years old, my brother about 10. It was well past our bedtime when our mom woke up off the couch to put us to bed. Our dad worked construction out of town back then, so it was often just us 3 at the house for weeks at a time. Up the stairs and to the immediate right was our parents' bedroom. Going left put you in the middle of a hallway. Taking another left down that hallway led to my brother's room. The opposite end was a room which was also across the hall from our upstairs bathroom. At either end of the hallway are windowed doors we always kept locked and rarely used. The door on my end led to a balcony overlooking our front yard, and the door on my brother's end opened to our back porch.
Ew.
My brother and mom both had a habit of waking up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom.
This is not the place I was birthed. Very absurd, very disturbed.
The door wide open. This night, however, stopped on his way to his room
Dusty
and
noose.
came back towards the bathroom.
We kept that.
I'm gonna try to pee before I go to
Cool.
bed. Past few nights I've been too afraid to walk to the bathroom. I keep seeing a man wearing stripes at the end of the hallway. I don't know if my mom wrote it off as my brother telling
That's a
ghost
little.
stories to try to scare
Little
me, or if she was
strange.
already half asleep and didn't catch it, but she didn't react at all to my brother's confession. I, on the other hand, was terrified by it.
Why can't we find a game?
Is the reason
Let's
I started
go.
running
We
from the
found
stairs to my
one.
bedroom at night. Years later, when I was about 18, my mom and I were
If
having
it's taking so long because everyone's like ranked 10 plus and
we were sharing stories about Max's
and
tendency
ranked
towards
or ranked
destroying
20.
shoes and other
So like
behaviors.
when you're
When my mom
in
blurted
between,
out,
whenever you're like 17,
remember that time I opened
18,
the front
that
door
type
for
of
the
stuff,
cops
you just can't
and
find a
Max
game
ran inside
quickly.
the kitchen
I don't
and
know.
started
Maybe
tearing open the big
not.
bag of dog food we had?
I don't know. I've seen rank
This really caught me
18s
by
in
surprise, because in
our
all the
ranked
years I
20
lived in
games.
that house, we never
Because
once called the cops. I asked her what she was talking about, and she looked equally
that
surprised,
sucked.
as if she had just revealed something by accident. Oh, that's right. I never told you because you were too young at the time. One night I woke up hearing noises outside my window, and when I looked, I saw a man staring into my bedroom. She went on to describe how turning on the lights caused him to take off running, and how she called the cops right
Let's
after.
go.
I can't remember
Luck.
all the details I gave them. when they showed
Luck.
up. Tall male, wearing a striped shirt and jeans, short dark hair, something like that.
Okay,
They said that
bloody
it matched the
blueprint.
description of a man they were looking for in the area.
What's
It turned
bloody
out he had escaped from
blueprint
jail
do
on a murder
again?
charge.
I don't know.
Now, I know it sounds so obvious hearing those two
Does that make it
stories
so
back to
that
back,
we don't,
but it
like,
wasn't
none
until
of
a
us
few
get
years
scared?
ago,
I
in my
mean,
mid-20s,
there's no way that
I
would be
pieced
a
together
freaking,
that my brother had unknowingly warned us
common
about
then.
a murderer who spent multiple nights
I don't know what it is.
casing our
What it
home.
does, though. I'll check.
One night, I was staying at a friend's house. He had a relatively large house. His parents weren't home, so there were no cars in the driveway. The house was designed where the garage had a door that entered into the kitchen. He had movement sensor lights in front of his garage. That night, we forgot to close the large garage door, and we were too afraid to go close it because we thought it might wake his older brother, who worked in the morning. We were all chilling in his sunroom, talking about football or girls or whatever.
Okay, cool.
This is at about 1 a.m.
Okay,
Suddenly, we see his
reveals the
lights
aura
flick
of the
on
basement
outside.
hooks.
We remember that the garage door is open, and the door coming into the
What?
kitchen was
I don't see the freaking
I
basement
sprang
hook.
up and bolted towards the door.
Oh my god, dude,
As I
see,
turned
this is
the
why I
lock,
don't
I could
like
see
it
the
trying to
hand
tap
on the doorknob.
for me. Why is
She
it constantly, like, doing
I
that?
told the other, we all grabbed knives from the kitchen.
Oh, it's a nurse.
We then go into his living room.
That's
waiting
very
to see
fun.
if anything else happens. We see flashlights in the backyard hit the glass
Fun.
in the sunroom.
Bruh.
We
Stop!
all ducked down to try to avoid being seen. As soon as the flashlights go off, we hear a man groaning outside his window. We pulled back the blinds to take a peek, and we see this man's face pressed up against the glass. He had yellow, missing teeth. We immediately called the police, and when they came,
Okay.
they found nothing. I never spent another night there again.
Yep, no one noticed me. I'll just keep doing this, Jen. Being
This
all
happened to
alone.
my best friend's parents. They told me the story about 15
Stupid.
years ago, and still tell it exactly the same to this day. They both swear it's true, and will take this to the grave. So it is either the best kept secret,
What?
or it is true.
What?
The year was 1969. His parents, let's call them Mark and Sarah, lived in Martinez, a small town about 25 miles east of San Francisco. If you recall, this was prime time for the Zodiac killer. At this point, they say that the Zodiac had already committed a murder in Benicia, which is about 10 miles from Martinez, and a murder in Vallejo, which is about 15 miles from Martinez. So for the story, Mark and Sarah decided to drive up to a local makeout rounds.
Oh no, please don't tell me this guy DCs if he gets
This
killed.
spot is located at the top of a hill, approximately 1 mile up from the main road. Back then, and even now, at the top is a huge oak tree with a roundabout going around the oak tree. The one road is the only way in and out via car. Everything else is just open space, trees and brush. On this night, they notice a car parked on the other side of the road, next to a hiking
What is
trail
wrong with this guy?
close to the top. They look at each other, noting how out of place it seemed, but carried on. Typically, there are a few cars up there, but never super crowded. When they got to the top, they were one of only 2 cars. They proceed to pull around the roundabout and park a good distance behind the other car as to not interrupt.
I'm realizing the implications of me doing that and how stupid that was.
And talking for a while, enjoying the fresh
I don't
air.
know, I guess I was just getting too annoyed at the guy.
After a while, the other car leaves, and they decide to take things into the car and start
Like I
making
didn't
noise.
want to die, but I didn't want to stay around either.
You get this sensation that you are being watched. You get this general feeling of uneasiness, and the hairs on your arms and back of your neck stand up. That is how Sarah describes she began to feel. She tells Mark she wants to go, and that she is scared. He reassures her everything is fine. They start to fool around some more. She then says that she notices something moving in the bushes behind the cattle gate.
Yeah, at the end of this game, I'm going to go.
Nothing, or just some animal scurrying.
So let's
about.
make this a good one.
She gives in, and they again begin to fool around.
Oh,
She
let's
stops them
definitely
again
try to
and says there is something out there behind the gate.
get some
Mark
protection
turns and
hits.
notices what appears to
We
be
do
a
need to
man
find that glyph.
standing and pacing behind the cattle gate, which is probably 40 to 50
Oh
yards away.
no.
He tries calming Sarah down,
Freaking
some more,
hex ruin.
who is now visibly shaken. He tells her not to worry, and that it is probably a person walking back to the car they saw on the side of the road, by the hiking trail. She calms down, and they continue to talk and hang out. At this point, Mark himself is a bit leery of this person, so he starts to track his movements.
Okay, cool.
At one point, he notices the person is gone.
Let's
He
see
figures he hiked
if
away.
we can find that glyph.
All of a sudden, Sarah screams, "Mark, look!" Mark turns around and sees a man standing next to the oak tree, wearing a long coat and a round top hat. Mark turns the car on, and as he turns it over, the man begins running towards the car.
Does it just spawn in the same spot every time?
Opens the passenger side door and grabs Sarah.
Or was that just luck?
She was wearing her seatbelt, and the man was unable to pull her out of the car. Mark continues to drive down the road as fast as possible. When they get home, they
Freaking
tell
throat
Sarah's parents about the
itches.
ordeal, but they blow them off as kids telling stories. To this day, they maintain that the Zodiac killer had almost gotten them. They say that only a couple months after their ordeal, a couple was attacked on the shores of Lake Berryessa, which is about 50 miles north of Martinez.
I've accomplished everything.
But
aside from protecting.
Zodiac killings happened
Oh
within a 50
god
mile
dang it.
radius of Martinez, and they will take that story to the grave with them. Makes me think they are telling the truth, and the person that they came into contact with that night.
I screwed that up so bad.
Zodiac killer.
On 99 the other gate, I guess.
Most horrible thing that has ever happened to me. I have never been so petrified.
Or should I stay by the...
To this day,
No, I'm not going to stay by that bill. I'll just run back to him.
What he was trying to do, or if he still is where I saw him. I'm sorry
there's
for how
someone
long
here,
the
then.
geographical description
I'll start running
I
back.
just want everyone to understand
Okay.
how secluded I was when this happened, and how badly it could have ended if it wasn't for my parents. I was back home for the summer for the first time in a year after starting university.
Oh my god,
Our
no,
home was,
no.
and still is,
Steve,
just outside
what,
of a small town
what?
with forests all around.
Yeah,
There was
I
also
don't care
a
if she's
small
over there.
man-made lake, which was diverged from a river that ran for miles through the forest and ramified into a few streams east of the lake. Near my home, there was a small grassy path that led to
I want to make sure this guy's
but one I
okay.
used to go on often as a child. I knew the forests there well. I knew where I could cut through dense trees to meet the stream. The walk I would go on always led me off the path, which turned
Okay,
northwest
where are
slowly,
you going?
so away from the stream, and then took a sharp turn to the
Idiot.
west after a few miles
Come here.
walk, at which
Come
point
here,
the
idiot.
stream was hidden quite deep into the forest.
Where the heck did you go?
I'd continue to
Okay,
walk
I'm going in the
follow
basement.
the stream through the forest to get to the river, then follow the river west to get to the lake.
Oh, great.
It's easy to get lost in this forest because the
Already
terrain
taken.
isn't just a slope down to the water. It goes up and down.
Blood in
And
the
you end up
water.
completely surrounded by
The
trees.
price of your bread is your blood and your father. What you gonna do with the blood in the water?
Never saw anybody else in the forest. I went there twice that
Whoa!
summer.
Yay, we
One time
collected
alone,
something new.
ish. The first
Sure,
time I
didn't
left
think
in
of
the
that.
morning, I walked along the path away from the stream. To the sharp
Okay, that's 4 escapes in a row.
I reached the
Maybe we
stream
can carry on that
so.
tomorrow.
As I was running my hands in
On
the
another.
water, I heard a bell from far away, coming from the north. Something was making a bell ring fervently and periodically, which I found strange. I listened well, wondering if it was a lost hunting dog, and started moving towards the sound. I realized it couldn't have been an animal. I could tell the bell was too heavy because of how clear the sound was to be on a collar. I kept moving and the bell was moving away from me.
Okay.
It stopped completely.
Yep.
After
Well,
5 minutes. The stream wasn't big
let's
enough
claim
or
that
strong
thingy
enough to
ding
carry
ding.
a bell that could have been enclosed
Okay,
in tin or
apparently that's
something.
not a thingy
And
ding
the
ding.
river was too far.
Teach the survivors.
I thought of everything, but nothing explained the sound apart from
Oh,
one
now I
obvious
get
thing,
that thingy
which
ding
I
ding
just didn't
again.
feel comfortable with for some
Fun.
reason. I knew it had to have been a person.
Okay.
I stopped thinking about it and just walked on normally.
I'm gonna
Until
upgrade
I found a badger,
real quick.
a dead one. The sound of the bell had been following the stream.
Now I don't
So
have to
had I.
like go for
So,
anything.
the badger was put there while I was walking.
Okay, there we go.
I suppose. I don't know really. Nothing else happened then.
I don't really know what I'd like
1 week
here.
later, I went
I guess
back
I'll
for the
get
second
this
time that
thing
summer,
whenever I
and
can.
the last time ever. I left home at around 6 p.m. I made it to the stream and then walked to the river in an hour. Then decided
Tremendously increases the chance of spawning the hatch in the killer shack. That's kind of a dumb thing. Like, dumb good thing. I don't know, that's dumb though. Yeah, but I hope you guys all enjoyed this little stream. We'll definitely do some more some other time. Was trying to find my webcam. Just my webcam. But yeah, hope you guys all enjoy. Remember to hit that like and subscribe. I thought my cat was still in here for some reason. I don't know. He hasn't been in here for a while. But yeah,